Okay, so I was watching my last video about the things I'm seeing in Scorpio right now, and it motivated me or inspired me to make this video about how to love a Scorpio, how to love a Scorpio woman. Because I'm a woman, I don't know too many Scorpio guys, you know, um, and the Scorpio men and the Scorpio women are a bit different, but yeah, how to love a Scorpio. It seems like all we want is to be pleased at first. At first glance, it seems like you have to do what we say in order for us to be pleased. And it can be a lot of work and a hard burden, it seems. But what we're really looking for is deep transformation through our connections and our closest relationships. We're looking for, we're looking to heal you and ourselves through connecting to our lowest selves, you know. And a lot of times people get into relationships with Scorpios and be like, I thought it was going to be something else, because I feel like our magnetism draws people in so that people can be transformed and healed. Not necessarily so that you can have sex and have fun, because that's what it looks like on the outside. Like, oh my gosh, she's so much fun. She's um attractive, she's sexy as hell. And I feel like that's a lot of times with things of nature. Mother Nature draws you in, and then you end up, most of the time, healing yourself. And that's really what Scorpio's goal is to transform. But we also have trust issues. In a Scorpio's childhood, there's a lot of abandonment, abuse, and our relationships with our families are complicated, and oftentimes we're isolated, and put off to the side and alone. And how do you love that? How do you love someone that is afraid to open up to you? And the reason why Scorpios are afraid to open up in certain ways is because we don't want to become dependent upon your love. We don't want to, you know, get used to being loved just to have it taken away. And we feel like, that's human nature. Sometimes people want to be close, and sometimes people don't. And for our level of maturity when it comes to that, most of us can't handle the ebb and flow, the come and go of most people. Most people like want to be intense for a little while and like up in your face, and then they want time to themselves. And Scorpios want to be connected all the time. And it's because of something that we're missing in our childhood. And it's often missing from at an age to where we didn't have a voice yet. For me personally, I was abandoned by my mother by the age of 3, right? But also, my childbirth was traumatic. So imagine those intense energies being stuck in my body. They don't have a voice. I didn't have a voice then to put it into words. This is such subconscious, like deep level creatress type of energy. And that's what allows us to be great healers and kind of stay youthful our whole lives. It's the energy never got a chance to change into the next phases of development. And so we're still babies a lot of times, emotionally. But we'll never tell you that. You know, I'm giving away Scorpio secrets. We're super weak when it comes to love, because we know with one touch of love, we're hooked. We're just hooked because we need it so much, or we think we do. You know, but the key for Scorpio to be healthy is to realize that their life is a shamanic journey. And on shamanic mythical journeys, there's trauma. And sometimes shamans cause their own trauma. Like you see shamans go off into the mountains on their own 30 days and 30 nights, fasting, no food, no water. Or I don't know about the no water part, but yeah, the no water part. They'll fast and they'll isolate themselves and they'll transmute the neediness that humanity has, so that they can go into other dimensions and speak to spirit, like live in the spirit world while they're in physical form. And that's what Scorpios are meant to do. All that isolation and time you spend alone, that those places nobody can touch, those spaces that those emotions no one can hear, those screams inside that only spirit can hear, that is your entryway into communicating with spirit and becoming a shaman, a healer, a high priest, and a high priestess. So how do you love a Scorpio? Love a Scorpio at your own risk. Because there's definitely going to be, in the love of Scorpio, if you're willing to be transformed, a Scorpio person is going to basically, and we all do this, project onto you the work that they need to do within themselves. And a lot of times people feel like Scorpios are hypocritical because of that. It's like, and when we oftentimes do see the work we need to do in our relations, through our relationships, it's really hard for a Scorpio to transform by themselves without a relationship until we can see the things that I just said and experience those things. Then you could, as a Scorpio person, you can be in a relationship and not really ask so much of people when you realize that this is your shamanic journey. And this is why oftentimes me, myself, I opt to be single, because I honestly focus so much on my energy in general, and on my own transformations and studies, that I feel like I can't really nurture a relationship right now. I don't know if that'll change, but I have a feeling it won't change much, and that whoever's with me is going to have to love that about me, or it's not going to work. And it's not like I can't nurture and love a home, and I would love to. That's probably where I would shine the most, according to everything in my chart, not according to my experience. I haven't experienced that yet. But from my experience, I'm the most healthiest when I take all my triggers and I transmute the energy and I take responsibility for my own mythical journey. And I help myself and I help others. Like, that's part of my purpose, and I'm happy living that way. But how do you love a Scorpio? You sit back and you just allow, because it's a lot. She's amazing, he's amazing, but you need to watch out for whether or not they're being true to their shamanic journey, or if they're pretending to be something they're not because they want to run away from their inner transformations. If you really love a Scorpio, and then this is for any sign, you will want them to be their best selves. And you can't make somebody be their best selves. You can't make somebody be happy. And that's a mistake a lot of people make in relationship with Scorpios. Scorpios are like, you're not helping me. Nothing can help you. You were made in a way that nobody can save you. Because you're supposed to go off into the woods and work it out and duke it out between you and Mother Nature, and you and the God and goddesses and your guides and your angel. You're supposed to lift that veil so that you can see clearly into other worlds, other dimensions, like the subtle energies, so that you can help the world heal. That's what's going on with you, Scorpio, when it comes to that. And self-love and self-care is up to you. Like, nobody can, And sometimes with Scorpios, and I read this, the dark side of Scorpio, this one lady, I forgot her name, but I love her because she's so true. She's trill. Scorpios can legit have a stench. And we don't look like it, but we can have a stench for not taking care of ourselves. You know, we try to take care of everything else, and we have a lot of knowledge and understanding. But sometimes Scorpios need to go back to the basics and take care of themselves. Take care of yourself from the bottom up, of your physical body, not just stay in your head, because Scorpios can be super logic and mental and study and mastering things. But we have not mastered a lot of times our self-care, and it's because, like I said before, at a time when we needed to be cared for, we weren't being cared for. Other stuff was happening. There's lots of drama inherited in being a Scorpio person. It's not an easy job, you know, but we all have our place on earth. And you becoming really good at self-care, Scorpio, and it's something that's embarrassing. So if your mate gets on you about it, you probably attack and go for their jugular. You know what I'm saying? But it's true, you know. Learn to take care of you, and that'll help you in your healing practice as well. Everything that you're going through, and just all your misgivings, are blessings. Just like I was saying in the Scorpio oracle, be even grateful for the negative things. And if you are in a relationship with a Scorpio, I know it's hard for you to tell them anything. And then you wish they stop complaining all the time and see all the good around them, because it's really hard for them to. Because they want to be lifted above the drama that they've had in their lives. They really, really do. But in the way that it's not going to happen in the way that they want. It's going to happen in a real physical, just really menial type of way. Waking up every day and being disciplined in your prayers. Being disciplined in your meditation, being disciplined in your self-care, how you eat, what time you go to bed, just taking care of yourself and mothering and nourishing yourself will put your mood in a better place. You don't even know. A lot of times Scorpios don't know that they're in a bad mood because they don't feel taken care of, or it's just kind of like you still have the screams of being a baby inside of you, because you never got a chance to have that in your world. You didn't get a chance to be a baby. You went from baby to responsibilities a lot of times. And that's hard. And you do need compassion. You know, but it's hard for people to give a Scorpio person compassion if they're always negative and complaining and spewing out. The subconscious mind, the monkey mind, can try to help you by spewing out negative things at you, having a negative point of view. It's all giving you a signal as to what's going on in your subconscious. And it's up to you to dig and find out what that is. And so a lot of times Scorpio people want to shine the light on their most positive side. And we need to be thankful for the negative in our lives too, even if it's the hardest thing ever. There's a reason for it. And that's what's been helping me lately. I'm itching my ear. Okay. One thing I want to say, was hard for me to say, is that I struggle with my teeth. And I have to make sure I clean them like 2 times a day. When I was a kid, I got diagnosed with gingivitis. And in that book, You Can Heal Your Life, it's one of my favorite books by Louise L. Hayes. It's real simple. And it talks about disease and the thoughts that go along, like how to change your thoughts. And it said that negative talk, thinking, speaking, and also not being, I was a latchkey kid growing up when my mom was in the army, but I also, my mom didn't really spend that much time taking care of me. So I still have to make sure I remind. Honestly, sometimes I walk out the door and I don't remember to brush my teeth. That's something that I'm like, I have to remind myself. I have to remind myself. I'm sensitive to my energy now, but my body loves to be moisturized. My feet love to be moisturized. So I can hear the signals from my feet being like, put lotion on me before I go out the door. Put lotion. My feet loves oils. And after I put the lotion on myself, I feel better. Like a lot of subtle things that our body tells us, a lot of times Scorpios still won't listen. We might over push in certain areas, and not give enough attention to other areas. But we're lovable and we're great people. But sometimes our wounds and our spiritual alchemical process can drive people insane. Just drive people completely insane. And people need their space and their time to not just we can be all consuming people. And because our energy is so powerful, if we don't heal, if a Scorpio doesn't heal, then they'll take over your whole world. And on behalf of all Scorpios, I'm so sorry about that. And I've learned to be really honest, which has been one of the hardest things for me to do. But I'm thankful that I'm attracted to really smart men who don't hold their tongue. And they're nice enough to hold their tongue until they can find a nice way to say certain things to me. In the relationships I've been in, we've been honest with each other. And I think I've cultivated that in my relationships. And sometimes when Scorpios ask for honesty, they don't mean be honest with them. But you get what you give, right? And I'm grateful for everybody that I've been in relationships with who've been close to me, who have been honest with me. It's helped me be honest with myself because I want to be loved and I don't want to hurt people. And I want people to feel loved by me. So I do listen and I don't just be like, well, I don't know. I don't know how other people handle it. I'm sure a lot of people don't admit it and say sorry, So, and I think that's the Libra. I have a Libra stellium. And so oftentimes I'm able to stay friends with my exes and stuff because I am willing to take responsibility for my part in the relationship as well. Usually I talk until I feel satisfied that I've said what I wanted to say about how to love a Scorpio. How to love a Scorpio. Baby. Something came to me about baby. Yes, the little baby. There's a baby inside of us that we don't know how to allow you to love. And we'll never allow you to, really. And you have to kind of be persistent. My last Virgo boyfriend had to make me lay down and relax and let him allow him to pamper me and take care of me and love me in certain ways that I really needed and I appreciate that, but it wasn't easy. It wasn't an easy process for me. It's almost like Scorpios need to be spoon-fed. Like we need to be raised, and have a foundation. We need security. That's what makes us feel loved. Having a home, having someone that takes care of us sometimes. And it can come across that's a lot. That's basically like you need your mother and your father, and nobody can do that for you. But thankfully, there's some people out in the world that love us enough to do that for us. There's been people in my life that love me enough to do that for me. And it's really helped me be more calm, build a foundation for myself. And it's what you do with the time, Scorpios, too. If somebody gives you that space and opportunity, use that time to heal and use that time to cultivate your being and use that time to be grateful for what people are doing for you. as well. Make sure there's an equal exchange and people don't feel taken advantage of. But a lot of times Scorpios can make people feel taken advantage of because we need a lot and we don't admit it a lot of times that that's what people are doing. It's a blind spot and we don't want to see how bad we had it and where we ended up because of it, so we can be snooty and hold our nose up and be like, who needs, I have a Benz, darling. It's just kind of like, girl, please, you were just homeless last week. you know and I'm paying Scorpio out to be assholes or whatever, but sometimes we can be. And I feel like for the people that deal with Scorpios and who aren't evolved enough to face themselves, I'm speaking to you. Maybe I'm not talking to the Scorpios who are already evolved and who are humble and down to earth and who can admit their flaws. And honestly, Scorpios need a check-in sometimes. It's true. Sometimes we need a good, like, pal right in the kisser. Get, okay, you get it too big for your britches, boo. And it's because we have such deep insecurities. Well, anyway, I said the thing about the babies. We're babies. What else? About loving a Scorpio. It feels like it's not done yet. Channeling. Okay, the reason why Scorpios need that space, that security, a home, why do we feel love? Because we need space to channel spirit. And if we're always focused on the physical world and working so hard, then we can't complete our mission. How to love a Scorpio. Give them space to complete their purpose. That's what will make a Scorpio love you to death. You give them a space to complete. We want someone to believe in us, right? Everybody does, but especially a Scorpio. Because our purpose is to help people. And we can't help people if we can't help ourselves. And it's really hard for us to get to that point to where we don't have so much on our plate. Like I said before, we've been sent out into the world and where we exist as like a lone wolf. We don't want to be. We've been made that way. And it's for a reason. Like I said before, we're set aside, kind of holy, set apart, consecrated, and to dedicate our lives to our spiritual work and development. But you do need a foundation. You do need a physical foundation, someplace to plant your feet on the ground, on the earth. I think I said what I need to say. Scorpio. Yeah, I think I said it. That's it. So, if you love your Scorpio, that's what's going on. She's not trying to use you. He's not trying to use you. But sometimes we feel crazy with the things that come to us. Like, if I said this out loud, if I tell these people what I actually really need, they're going to feel used. But everybody has their needs and their lacks, their misgivings. And Scorpios just have to need some of the most basic human needs. Food, shelter, and clothing. Food, shelter, clothing, water, support. It's like, does she love me? Or does she just need me? That's a good question. Ask her where her Venus is, and that'll give you more information into that. I'll talk to you later. Or Mars. I'll talk to you guys later. It was nice talking to you. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing and commenting on my channel. Peace.